It's a great idea.
You should have just started it organically, and then you should have just let it run. It's like, we're live now. All right, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah, but then what do you say at that? All right, we're live now.
Yeah, we're live now.
In the BOOMcast. I don't know.
Oh.
Number 2.
The BOOMcast?
Yeah, type in the chat or something.
Type in the chat. What am I supposed to? I don't know what's happening.
I don't even know where the chat is.
Did you tweet that it's going live, Red?
Oh, no, I'll do that right now.
So can they hear us right now?
They can hear you right now.
All
Unless
right,
I fuck
sweet.
something up, they can hear you right now.
Unless you. So there's a good chance they can't hear us.
I'm pretty sure they can hear us. People are making booms and stuff. It looks like a good time. The chat looks like a good time right now.
I see a lot of big asses.
That's a great time.
Oh, no. Big ass.
Big ass.
Yeah, it's a solid emote. I'm a big fan. Oh, dang. Most Thursday. Wait, does it say on there? Did you
I
fix
did not
it?
even update that one. That one's correct, I guess.
Most Thursday. Most Thursday. It's the most of all the. Of every Thursday, it's the most.
Are we gonna talk about Swerve Moment 37 or?
Wait, what just happened?
Wait, what is that?
You know exactly what that is. The Marvel player.
Oh my god. Rynge, that's the kind of guest you're gonna be? Okay.
I just want to know if that's what we're talking about or not.
You're in here causing trouble already?
What you talking? Look, I'm using code words for a specific reason. I'm bringing this up during the pre-show for a specific reason.
It's a great idea, though. It's a great. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna put that into the list of topics. It's actually something. Not specifically that, but something along those lines,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
Along those lines.
Jesus, alright.
All right, I think we're about ready here. Let me click on some stuff and hope I get all this right. Oh man, I definitely got to close out of those things. Those are not meant to ever be on stream. Hold on.
It's his Amazon wish list, alright? He just doesn't want you guys to know.
And
Victoria's
we are
Secret
in
shopping.
there. No, wait, I fucked up. Where's everyone else? I showed up on the podcast
no.
alone.
What the hell? we instant transitioned in? That was fucking
Oh shit! All right, I did it. Welcome. This is BOOMcast episode number 2. I've got a semi-new cast of characters, semi-returning cast of characters. Say hi, everybody. We'll start with this guy over here.
What's up, MYK?
And down
Same
there.
Hey, how's it going?
And down there. The
Hey
new guy.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got MYK, Sajam, and Rynge joining us today. This is going to be our Evo recap episode, I guess. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be the Evo recap. Evo, of course, just happened. A lot of crazy stuff going on there. Rixta is not on today. He's got work or something, so I guess he's going to be sometimes on, sometimes not on. And I know a lot of you guys were asking me about how often the podcast is going to be. We're aiming to do it every other Thursday. All right, so that's called bi-weekly. For those of you guys who don't know how that works, it's bi-weekly, every other Thursday.
That
All
is
right.
most Thursdays.
It's most Thursday. Damn, did you just freeze your video, Steve?
Me?
Yeah, your video's going like 1 frame a second. It's getting crazy out there.
Oh, really? That's bad. Here, I'll cover my mouth so you don't know that I'm dropping frames.
Oh my god. It's
There's
so
like,
fucked up.
can't tell. What happened?
It's so good.
Podcast.
You actually can't tell. You can't tell that I'm not dropping frames. It's not a big deal. I'll just cover my mouth.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone else. You just stay like that for the whole show. No problem.
It's not a big deal. Wait, is it moving like normal now?
Sometimes. I don't know, man.
Definitely not.
It's moving like normal most Thursday, bro.
Yeah, most Thursday. Every third day.
All right.
What happened? I blame you. It looks fine on my monitor. Is it lagging for you and MYK and Rynge?
Yeah, I do see it every other
All right, cool.
frames.
All right, sick. So it's not just me. That's good to know. I was
Should
a little
I
scared.
even rejoin?
No, it's good
Just
now.
like
You're good.
you're like a street performer. Just stay still just the whole time. The silver dude, just holding himself up on a stick, just for body weight. No one's gonna pay you if you move.
That's so crazy.
I don't know what's happening.
You were on the call for like 30 minutes already. You've been on for like 40 minutes already with me on Skype, and it hasn't had a problem. But all right, enough with all
Says
that.
the call quality is great.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Evo. This was the biggest year, right? It's in terms of size of the floor space. Biggest convention center we've been in. The arena was the same as it's always been for the last couple years. Sajam is gone. Skype is so
I
difficult.
got it.
You still frozen, bro.
God damn it. I don't know what's happening.
Yo, podcasts are hard, man. Podcasts are hard.
It's a
But
lot.
yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening this year. A lot of games. A lot of the grand finals are crazy. We'll talk about all that stuff. But just, Sajam, I'll start with you before you somehow drop out of the call for the rest of this show. Let me know your thoughts on Evo and tell me what you liked about it. Overall thoughts in general, I guess. We'll start there.
All right, so I'm gonna position my mic behind my mouth behind the mic, so you can't tell.
Well
I honestly love this Evo. I thought it was super great. I think it's probably the most fun I ever had at Evo. Like, but the one that I enjoyed the most as an attendee. Since this is only my 4th Evo, so I haven't been to a ton of them. But yeah, I thought it was a super fun time. Last year, a lot of people said it felt like a convention to them, and I didn't really get that feel. But this year, it definitely felt sort of convention-y. I think way more than I expected it to, which is cool in some ways, and you know, whatever in other ways. I ended up on the jump off most of Evo. So that's what I did most of the time, and I ended up doing 19 hours of commentary.
Oh my god!
I did a shit ton of commentary. So if I didn't run into you, I'm sorry. I was working the whole time, so it was hard for me to, you know, be everywhere. But I definitely don't want to do that much commentary at an Evo again, just because I didn't get to enjoy it as much as I could have, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, as a spectator, I thought all the grand finals, the top 8s were super good. I've had a lot of fun at pretty much, I don't know, the whole weekend. It's honestly my favorite Evo that I've been to.
Sick. And you've been to like 4 or 5 now, right?
Yeah, 4 Evos.
In a row. You haven't missed one since you started.
Yeah, since 2030. Look, quiet down over there, all right?
Hey, I'm just saying, man. That's generally how it goes for a lot of people. MYK, how about you?
This has been my 11th Evo.
Holy balls. Old man
See,
MYK.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. So I've been around for a while. I had a blast this year, even though I got blown up in pools. It's the first time ever not making it out of pools.
No
I'm pretty
shit.
sure. Yeah, everybody knows how that went. And then, yeah, everything else was great. I did like the venue a lot. I liked the setup this year a lot more than last year. I always personally, I like the Caesar Palace venue the best, just because it was a long hallway. At the end, you get the 3 main screens. But this time it was kind of similar to that. You know, you walk in straight ahead. It's a con first. You know, like the last couple years, it feels like they make you walk through like the booths and stuff, you know, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You get to see all the stuff and, you know, like, where the people are crowding around and stuff. But then first when you walk in, you see the 3 big screens. And then you look to the left and you see another 3 big screens. And it's just like, wow. I really like the setup this year. It was really cool.
How about you, Rynge? How's your Evo?
No, I was good, man. It was my first Evo in a couple of years. I think I went around like 2011, 2012, 2013, and I didn't go 2014 or 2015, or 2016, I think, for that matter. So it was probably my first Evo in about 3 years. And it was a really good time. I really liked the convention center as well. I thought the room was huge, and it was enough for space where you could actually like stop and bullshit with your friends or whatnot, and actually worry about like getting in the way of other people just trying to traverse through the areas. So it was really cool, and you know, the different attractions, whether it be the booths or the game, the pre-releases and whatnot, all of that was cool. I didn't get a chance to do too much of that myself, but besides that, it was real fun. I enjoyed the jump off with Sajam and yourself quite a bit as well. So I think that's a cool idea that I want to see built upon in the future.
Yeah, so really quick, you know, you mentioned you haven't been here in a few years. Do you remember what the last like hotel setup that you went to for Evo was?
Ooh, I went to Caesars, and that one sticks out, but I can't remember the one after that, really.
Wow, yeah, I
Was
mean,
that the Westgate?
It might have been.
it's just so different now, I feel like, than it was 3 years ago. It's so much larger, I feel. Did you get that feeling at all, or did you still walk in and feel like, yeah, it's Evo?
I honestly felt like I walked in, I was like, yeah, this is Evo. The convention, like the actual one room was gigantic, and yeah, it's never been quite that vicinity, but for me, it felt like Evo. I don't know.
Yeah, because even last year, like when they moved to the convention center feel with like just, and I think a lot of that was just that there was no carpet. You know, last year was the first year it was just like concrete floor. That room, when I think back about it now, it felt really big. Like to walk across, it took a long time, but this year was like massive. Like as you guys mentioned, when you walk in, you have the sponsor booths right in front of you, so there's a lot of time you spend just kind of looking around like, whoa, what is all this stuff? And then you get past it and you see like these 3 screens in front of you. And that area, I felt like, is how big it was last year. And now they've had the whole additional section with like the other monitors further down. And that whole section, I didn't even get to go to that part for most of the tournament. I only went there, I think, Saturday night and that was it because that was when all the top 8s started happening, right? But the first, I think Friday and most of Saturday, I didn't even go out that way.
And that was the one thing that actually did strike me as different from like the years I went to now was the concrete floors. Like, yeah, no carpet was actually the one thing that I was like, whoa, that kind of shocked me a bit. But besides that, it felt like Evo.
And that feels very con-like, right? Like not having the carpet and everything. And yeah, the stuff about not going to certain parts of the venue, I definitely felt. Like I felt like I spent a lot of it in the jump-off area, which is like on one of the stages on the side, and then like I didn't really go to the Street Fighter area except for like twice because I only went over there for like 2 different blocks of commentary and then to watch the semis. So yeah, there was like a lot of that area I feel like I missed.
Yeah, and you know, I think competitive-wise, I know I entered, MYK entered. Did you enter anything, Rynge?
No.
And Sajam, you didn't either, right?
19 hours of commentary later, I am very happy I entered nothing.
All right, so I'll just ask MYK then. You know, what are your thoughts like as a competitor in terms of like what you liked, what you didn't like? Because I know in previous years, you know, final round, especially last year, had that issue where you know it was way too crowded, etc. This year they fixed that. I don't feel like Evo had that kind of a problem last year, but it definitely felt super crowded walking through all the players I remember last year. This year as a competitor, I didn't really feel that way. I felt like it was pretty good. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought the space was very nice, but I felt like there was a lot of empty space too. And then I was like, at certain points of the day, I was like, I'm not going outside to wait in that line to pay for a $9 water. So I'm like, where's the water fountains around here? I'm dying, man.
No water fountains.
Yeah, there was no water refill stations anywhere, you know, so I was just dying on that. But other than that, I felt like it was pretty good space for everything. You know, there was a lot of empty space that I definitely thought they could have utilized more, but you know, it definitely I do like the aspect that it is kind of a con/tournament thing now. But as a competitive player, with all that extra space, I feel like you could have brought your own BYOC areas and, you know, just like so much stuff. And then like at the end of the day for like the first day of Evo, you know, we obviously had Tekken got played out to top 8 the first day, right? We had like 1,267 players. And then a lot of the matches didn't even get streamed at the end of the day because we all had to get kicked out by 11. And they're like, we got to finish all the matches by 10:30. And it's like, we didn't see a lot of highlight matches for that, you know? So it's like, you know, that was my one gripe about it, that and the water, and just a lot of key moments were not on stream, you know?
Yeah, you know, and I've heard that complaint from multiple people that just a lot of the matches that ended up on stream weren't the matches that they wanted to see. And, you know, even going on to the jump-off, which I don't even know if a lot of the viewers know about. Sajam, you want to tell them about what the jump-off was?
Yeah, so if you missed the jump off, I don't blame you. It was not very well promoted, I feel like. Like, it wasn't announced until the schedule was announced, which was like Thursday before Evo or something, right? It was like super late. And it was on Evo 5, which was like one of the few streams that wasn't on the main page of Twitch.
Wow.
So like the combination of those two things meant that a lot of people didn't get a chance to see it. But the jump off was basically a 4-panel show. There's 4 commentators on at one time, right? And the way it went is that, you know, it was a combination of people who knew a bunch about a bunch of different fighting games. And we sort of just talked about all of them. So we could jump around to any stream that was live at Evo. And we could also watch replays. So let's say, like, you know, we're talking about Dogra versus Machobo in Guilty Gear because it's live. And then while we're watching that live, we missed like Bonchan versus like go to losers bracket, which is like a real thing that happened. We can go back and watch the archive of that on the Street Fighter stream. So it's actually really sick. I thought it was a cool experiment, and if you didn't get a chance to watch it, you should definitely go check out the archive.
Yeah, what is your thoughts on the jump off, Rynge?
Yeah, I thought it was an awesome idea. Of course, it was in its infancy. It was the first one that's ever happened for the FGC streams like that. Of course, it's been prevalent in other sports and other esports, but this was the first time it's really had a foray into the fighting game circle. And I think, you know, I thought everybody on the panel, the guests and the regulars, did a tremendous job. Getting the promotion and really just not getting to talk about it until like a week beforehand, really, or like a couple days beforehand, a day beforehand, was I think a detriment for sure. And then I didn't know about the Twitch thing till now. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But I think it's a cool idea, and I think the people that did get to see it had good things to say about it. So hopefully it's an idea that can be like better featured at further tournaments and hopefully better promoted.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way as you guys. I feel like, the guys that we had on the show, myself and you two, and then additionally like DC and Prague and everyone else was on. I feel like everyone did a great job. I think it was pretty entertaining. I felt like the first day we had too much of our faces on the screen, and then we were talking a lot about what makes the game similar, etc., and what was happening in the tournament, but we didn't really show a lot of what was happening in the tournament, right? And then by Saturday, I felt like they were showing matches way more often. They were just kind of throwing matches at us, and we were just watching and talking about them nonstop, and I thought that was really sick. So I agreed, it's experimental. I wish we had more time to promote it. But I think in the future, if they do it again, hopefully they do it again, I think it's going to be a lot better. And, one of the things I should mention, I know there's a lot of Tekken people who are going to watch this, and myself and Sajam were on there with Michael Murray and Harada, and we talked for like an hour. It was a great talk. We talked about, the Tekken World Tour in general. We asked them about DLC stuff. And, of course, this was all before all the reveals happened, too. So we asked them a lot of questions, and we got a lot of good answers, I feel like. So make sure you guys check that out. It's probably in the archive, I guess, twitch.tv/evo5. Yeah. It
was on Friday, by the way, so you guys can go check it out on Friday. Yeah, I thought that interview was really fun. I was on with a bunch of other Smash people to do an interview with JC from Nintendo, which is also pretty sick, but you guys probably don't want to watch that. Watch the Tekken one. It went pretty well, but you guys are just probably not interested, I'd guess.
They might be. You never know. I mean, what did you guys talk about, JC? Smash?
Yeah, we talked a lot about Smash, and like I asked him about other games that he liked at Evo and kind of sort of the involvement Nintendo has, because like Capcom or like Bandai Namco or like any company, like if they're promoting a game that's being played professionally and it has a circuit and there's money on the line, like just interesting questions about that. But it was really cool to talk to him about Evo and stuff like that, and just kind of the general thoughts, like how many Evos he's been to, who does he root for in other games. It was cool.
Okay. And so, MYK was bringing up earlier how, the best matches weren't shown on stream. I had the same complaint about the jump off, right? Like, a lot of matches were thrown our way. We had the ability to go back in time and find other matches, but I felt like a lot of times we weren't seeing the best stuff. What other kind of complaints did maybe you, Sajam, and Rynge have? We'll start with Sajam first about Evo in general. Maybe constructive criticism.
About Evo in general?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy because to me, I honestly really feel like the weekend teleported by because I was doing so much commentary, and like when I wasn't, I was just running around being a degenerate. So yeah, like overall, I really liked the event. It's hard. I think this is one of the smoothest Evos that I've attended or watched. I think there's a really good point in pulling really good matches to the stream, but that's really hard to do. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I feel like there could be people better to pick the matches sometimes, but also, like, getting every good match on stream, it takes a while. Like, it's very difficult to do. But, yeah, I would have liked the schedule to be out a little bit earlier. But on site, I felt really happy. I know a lot of people complained about the sound issues on some setups, right? There was, like, headset issues or something like that.
Oh, there was. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people complained about that, but as a spectator, I thought they did a lot of things right. I really like the in-house commentary being like a separate set of commentators, doing top 8 as like hype men, and then having like another pair do the Twitch stream. I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah, Rynge?
Yeah, the in-house commentary was a lot of fun. I got to do that for KOF on Friday, so that was pretty dope.
You're like the first guy to do it then.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely weird. I was not expecting it at all. We ended the jump-off shift. The last jump-off shift ended, and Seg, I checked my phone. I had 2 texts from Seg, and I looked up, and Seg was right in front of me. He was like, "You down or what?" And I looked at my phone, and it said, "Are you down to do the stage commentary for KOF?" And I was like, "Okay." So I go with him, and he's like, "So for clarity, you knew you were doing this, right?" And I was like, "Definitely not. Like, I had no idea. No one ever told me about this." So that was fun, even though it sprung at me at the last minute, much like this show. But
yes.
much like the show. But the one complaint I have is some of the Guilty Gear brackets, the early pools got a little just straight up jacked up. I don't know how much we can curse on this show, but it's
you can curse as much as you want. Go ahead.
As fucked up as possible in some certain cases. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the Smash GG like brackets revolved around Burst League points, which revolved around tournaments that took place in America. The seating was really favorable to either it had good seating for the Americans and Kazunoko and Dogura, but everybody else got like fucked. Like Omito, all these top players, like all of top 8 basically that barely can, except for like Kazunoko that barely came out to tournaments, didn't have any seeding. And there's like even a couple of guys that were from the same region in Japan that play with each other frequently, had to play each other in the second round. So it's tough when you come from like your first tournament, leaving Japan, coming to America, and like having to deal with that. So that really sucked. That's my biggest complaint. And then the headphone thing was unfortunate, but I think that pool thing was like the bracket issue was way more severe than that.
So that sounds like a seeding issue, right?
Yeah, super seeding issue. I don't know. I know there was a lot of people dedicated to trying to fix the brackets because there was like multiple drafts that they went through, but they still ended up fucked up in a lot of cases. So I don't know what it was, if they just needed to do straight manual hand seeding. I know there's people that are down to volunteer to do that, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that's what has to be done in the future, but I think it's inexcusable to have two people that coming like flying from Japan in the same region playing each other in the second round.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, historically, the last few years, Evo has had a lot of seeding issues. I think, behind the scenes, they do have people from the scenes try to help out with the seeding. But at the same time, they also have that option. Is this the first year they've done it on Smash GG, by the way, for the brackets?
Yeah, I think it is.
Right? So I saw they still had, like, a forum, though, where you could say, you could file a complaint about your pool and say, hey, this is whack. This guy's my neighbor. We're driving there together, and we're playing first round. So I think they still had that option available. I don't know how many people took advantage of that or how many people were even aware that that was an option.
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely, I think that's definitely a dope option that is included in the overall brackets, of course, whatever it may be. I don't know what it's like signing up in Japan, but yeah, whatever it happens, didn't work out. And I know there were some people that dedicated hours to trying to fix it. It just, it didn't come together at the last minute. And then, I actually forgot one more thing about Guilty Gear brackets that were at EVO. It was like for top 128 or top 64. I can't remember what actually round it was, but it was when I was supposed to do 4 o'clock commentary on Saturday. The entire Guilty Gear tournament got held up for like an hour because the Smash GG brackets, I can't remember what the specific problem was, but there was some issue where they didn't update properly or something happened with Smash GG where the tournament ended up being held up an hour, which also sucked a lot.
Yeah, I remember even on Friday during Tekken when we were moving from pools to semifinals, there was a delay of like 30 or 40 minutes, and they said they were having bracket problems, but no one was talking about what the bracket problems were. So, Smash.gg, I'm pretty sure they haven't run a tournament this big, not one this large, but I'm sure they've done individual brackets that have been this large on there as well, right? So, hard to say what the issues are. Hopefully they can fix it. Seeding is always an issue when you have this many players.
Yeah.
I don't know that they can come up with a better system, or if Guilty Gear has like some kind of tour, some kind of point distribution to kind of seed players based off that's global. It's so difficult, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was the same thing with Street Fighter too. Like they did it based on CPT, but like Nemo had no CPT points, so he just like gets thrown into a bracket and like eats people alive, So it's like one of those things where it's very hard to seed a bracket like this. Like Street Fighter seeds, I thought were fine, but for the most part, but it's like so hard with that many competitors, right?
Yeah, I mean, and if I'm remembering correctly, I think, and I saw it in the chat too, I think Tanukano was one of the highest seeds for Tekken, right? And I mean, I don't know where she's placing to get that kind of seeding, but obviously that's a little bit off. It's a little bit off considering the players that were at EVO as well. And Mike, your pool, you mentioned it earlier. I just wanted to touch on it because I forgot about it. What happened? You said you didn't make it out of your pool. You said everybody knows what happened, but I don't know what happened. So
yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what happened.
Oh man, I got blown up by Poke Chop.
How
did
bad?
A dance and everything.
He did a dance.
Yeah, man. Oh man, you know how like ATL and the homeboys at ATL always get loud, right?
Right.
And then I was up there during that match, and then he wins the first game, and it was pretty bad. And then I was just like, they're all getting loud. No round brown, no round brown, And I'm looking back, and I'm just like, where's my peoples? Where are they? And I was just like, okay, I know Rip has a tournament match, like two. He had the same pool time. All right. And Ricky is on stage. I was like, where's everybody else though? I was like, man.
Damn.
But other than that, yeah, Poke Chop blew me up, and then I lost to. And then I had to play PR Rog after that in losers, and then I had to play, and then he actually almost got me once, but then that was pretty funny.
He has your character.
Yeah, Steve, that was fun. And then after that, I played some foreign. I think he was South American or something. I'm not sure, but he played Eddie, and then it was like super crazy slow mo, weird sidewall stuff, and he got the last round on me.
Yeah, that actually reminds me. It was a couple years ago where I lost first round of my pool, and I got to winter final, and I was up the same pool, and I was playing the same guy again, and he had a bunch of friends behind me making a bunch of noise, and I looked back and I was like, where the hell are all my people at? Like, when that situation happens at Evo, you want your friends there, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
It was one of those situations where no one was there for me, and I was like, fuck, I gotta just do this by myself? Like, all right, that sucks. And it was so weird. I felt so defeated at that moment, but I pulled through. You can do it, Mike. Don't give up, bro. Like, I don't see what happened to your match, but I can tell you it was definitely terrifying when I was in that situation myself before. So, man, that sucks. But, you'll get him next year.
That's
so,
right.
Moving on, though, let's talk a little bit about the results, because this year was pretty crazy. I think a lot of the tournaments, especially when you got to the grand finals, you felt like, oh, I already know, Xiaohai is going to win. Duh, everyone knows that. And then he didn't, right? So, Rin, do you want to walk us through KOF, like that grand finals at least?
Sure. I mean, Xiaohai was definitely the favorite. He had taken pretty much all the major tournaments throughout the year for KOF 14. When the prize pot bonus got announced, again, just days before Evo, something else that could have used a lot better promotion and marketing. He claimed that it was going to be his money, already saying thank you to Evo, all of that popping off on Twitter.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah, there were multiple tweets directly to Evo, already thanking them for the money, Hell Pockets talking shit, and then he was like, Hell Pockets said something about money, and then he was like, I'll have plenty of money after Evo because I'll win the lion's share of the pop bonus and all that, right? Yeah, so he was going in.
Yeah, he was going ham.
Yeah, he in the winners top 8, he lost to Luis Cha, which is a local Wednesday Night Fights player. You guys probably heard of him just through osmosis from over the years. Entered KOF 13 a lot of Wednesday Night Fights. And then ran it all the way back, made it to grand finals. I believe was down 2-0 to ET. ET, a veteran KOF player that I believe has never won Evo, has eluded him for as many years as he's been playing it. And then he ran it back 2-2. And it looked like he was going to get the reset, but ET, with Daimon, a character that people did not expect to see in grand finals, let alone top 8, a character that's like pretty much the grappler, I guess, of the series, and that's not really too common for the top tier of the KOF, but he made it work. And Xiaohai just got blown up. It was I think one of the best grand finals of the tournament, honestly.
No shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All I remember seeing from the highlight reel was just Xiaohai with his face in his hands, just super disappointed. I think, and that kind of set off the whole weekend, right? Like,
dude, so many emotions this week. Dude, when Suki made it to top 8, you don't even know. He started crying, I started crying, everybody started crying.
God. Are you serious?
Everybody this whole weekend was crying. I'm telling you, man.
When I saw Sukin afterward, he looked like he was ready to cry. I didn't realize he was already crying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame him. I've been in that position, and same thing happened. I had to leave. You know when I beat Genius that year, right? Like, the big pop off, right? And I was like, everyone's like super hyped, chanting USA and shit. It's like my third year in a row making top 8. I was super hyped. And I just left. I had to leave because I was just gonna break down. I just started walking away, tried to get on the phone, and then I started breaking down afterward. But I pulled it together pretty quick. But still, it's super emotional when you make top 8 at Evo, man, and especially for Sukin this year. Just absolutely crazy. Let's move on, Sajam, to Injustice top 8, and just talk about that. I feel like that has got to be the biggest upset of all. I don't know if you think so, but that's what I felt about it.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to win Evo. I'm gonna be straight with you. I thought that Sonic Fox was not gonna win because of a few factors. I think the biggest one, so obviously he didn't win CEO, right? He got 3rd place there. But then he immediately went back and Red Hood came out and they announced that he would be legal for Evo. And Sonic Fox was like, all right, I'm definitely gonna play Red Hood at Evo. So he tried to play this DLC character, and I don't know, it's a big risk to take right before Evo to try to play a DLC character like that. And Honeybee, just a wild, crazy, set over Sonic Fox. He was up 2-1 over his Red Hood, then Sonic Fox went to Black Adam, 2-2. Then Honeybee clutched it out 3-2. That was winner semis. And then in losers bracket, he just immediately got pieced out. 5th place for Sonic Fox, which is crazy. And Dragon, I think, was in a prime position because I think besides Sonic Fox, he can beat everybody. Right? Sonic Fox is just like the one person who he just has so much trouble with, like just, as a player matchup, not even just anything else. And yeah, I mean, as soon as that happened, I figured like Dragon was probably the favorite to do it. I was really happy that Honeybee did so well. He made it super hype. And Theo did well as well. I mean, 3rd place. Got to be happy about that.
This is his
pretty
first
good year
tournament, right? First tournament is Echo Fox?
Yeah, actually, that's right. Because at CEO, right after CEO, he got announced as Echo Fox Theo. So I strongly believe in like the right when you get sponsored, it's really hard to win right after. But 3rd place is pretty good. It's not a win, but it's really, really good. So yeah, I thought it was a really good top 8 in general. Honeybee's matches were all super, super sick too.
So you attribute the Sonic Fox placing to mainly to Red Hood?
Yeah, I think it's not that Red Hood is a bad character. I actually think Red Hood is ridiculously good. It's just that when you play a new character, like you're kind of unfamiliar in scramble situations and like other scenarios where you'd be really familiar with stuff. Like Sonic just wasn't like in the clutch. It wasn't there, which I think Sonic Fox is usually ridiculous at. Right, the clutch is like his specialty, where he's down on some crazy stuff and he just makes like 5 reads in a row, and you're like, all right, well that's Sonic Fox. So yeah, I mean.
So, but you also mentioned that he didn't win CEO.
Yes.
So he's definitely not as dominant coming out of the gate in Injustice 2 as probably people expected. So
yeah,
is there
probably not.
Anything you noticed besides beyond the Red Hood that
I mean, CEO, like Slayer played real clutch to beat him. Like it was super close. Slayer has definitely beaten him in MKX before, so I don't find it like a huge surprise or anything like that. But yeah, like it's one of those things where his main characters were really strong after Combo Breaker. So I'm surprised at CEO that he was put into loser. I mean, losers bracket by Theo and then losing to Slayer like makes a lot of sense to me. If you look back at Injustice, the original Injustice, like Sonic Fox was not very dominant until like the last year, right? It was like the last year or so of the game. But when everybody was playing, when your Theos and your Slayers and your Emperor Jupiters and like everybody was playing Injustice, like Sonic Fox wasn't super dominant for a long time. So yeah, I mean those legacy skills carry over. He was incredibly dominant at MKX, but yeah, not as dominant at Injustice as he was as MKX. So it's like one of those things that those legacy skills from those players really carry over, and like the scene is really strong. The NRS scene has never had this many good players before.
Yeah, when I think back to Sonic Fox's rise at the end of Injustice, like it's true, the top players weren't playing as much maybe at the end, so Sonic Fox was, kind of filling in this gap where they weren't playing the game as much. But at the same time, I think that's where Sonic Fox, the player, started reaching his potential, right? Like he started becoming the great player that he was. And then, of course, that rode into MKX where he just smashed everybody. But now, going back to Injustice, I feel like he could have continued that momentum because I think the player, is back. But for whatever reason, he's doing still extremely well, but he's not winning. And I don't know what the big difference is between Injustice and Mortal Kombat.
Is it the characters? Do you think it's the characters?
I don't think so because he has so much potential with so many characters. I feel like that he doesn't.
He does, but what if he doesn't love any of these characters in this game? I don't know, man. Like maybe that's the difference. He loved Sonya and MKX, right? I mean, not Sonya. Like what's her name? The fangirl bandage.
Katana.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that girl. So it's like, what if he doesn't have like the love for the characters and he doesn't want to make that extra effort? And he's like, he was trying to go for the trump card, maybe go for the inexperienced character DLC, but it didn't work out in the end because the clutch wasn't there when he needed it, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be. Let's move on from Injustice, though. There's a lot of games that happen in EVO. Rynge, you want to talk us through Marvel?
Sure. Marvel. We talked a little bit about this before the show. One of the only games where the favorite, I think, definitely did take home the championship. Ryan LV, the new god, so to speak. He had been dominating the scene for quite a while. The only tournament he lost was NCR of 2017, and that was under suspicious circumstances of people saying, angelic tweeting that he had to leave for a flight and he intentionally lost, and all kinds of nonsense that you would expect from Marvel hooligans. But at the end of the day, it was Ryan LV versus the one man, the one god that had already won the title, that had a chance to repeat. e.g. Chris G. And of course, I think they are the two best players at the end of this game's life cycle. So it was fitting that they both made it to grand finals. Besides them, though, really weird top 8 in my opinion. Paradigm got 4th. My man from SoCal has been putting in mad work. Didn't expect him to make top 8, but he's been a top caliber player for a long time, so it was super dope to see him. Quackbot made 3rd. Have you ever heard of Quackbot, Rip?
I've never
heard
of
you, MYK?
Not really.
I've definitely heard of Quackbot.
Sajam has heard of Quackbot for sure. I mean, he is went into the tournament as PC Marvel God. Quackbot is just like this man has been grinding out Marvel 3 for a while. I honestly can't remember the details. I once knew them, but it was so long ago. And
yeah, he's an old name. I remember that name from like 2013, 2014.
Honestly, I just can't remember the details right now, but he ended up getting 3rd place. But then, Ryan LV did end up taking in grand finals. It was weird because I woke up right after Marvel Top 8 had ended.
Right.
So I woke up to this fever dream of seeing Jeddah and Gamora. I was like, what's happening? And then I look up Top 8 and like Quackbot got 3rd, and I was like, what's going on? But Ryan LV got 1st, and so at the end of the day, it was all was right with the world.
Dude, that's crazy. I can't believe that Marvel has had a new champion every single year. And
that's super dope.
It's pretty awesome that that lore continued. It's just amazing. On the Smash side of things, in Melee at least, I was rooting for Mango. I always like seeing Mango win. He had that opportunity to three-peat, but it didn't happen, right? It didn't happen. Armada is now, I think, a 2-time Melee Evo champ alongside Mango, right?
Him and Mango are both 2-time champs now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That makes it pretty interesting. You go into another year of Melee. And then on Smash 4 side, Zero lost. I don't even know who he lost to. I just know that Zero got to the grand finals, and then Zero lost. Salem, is that his name?
Yeah, Salem beat him in grand finals.
Is he? He looked like a pretty young kid. Is he young?
Yeah, I think a really young player, and I think Salem also won like Genesis and then some other big tournament. But yeah, Zero was supposed to win. Like he's supposed to be the favorite, right? He won last year too.
Yeah, right? It's crazy, man. And just to think that he made it back to the grand finals and then lost. Even Chris G to the grand finals lost. Xiao Hai to the grand finals and lost. A lot of these guys have won Evos, right? So.
Wait, did Zero win last year? Wasn't it Ally?
Was it 2 years ago that Zero won?
I think you're right.
Yeah, so 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, I guess Zero's been falling off for a while, huh?
Kind of since then. I feel like I don't really hear him being on top as much.
It's funny though, falling off, getting top 3 at Evo, or top 2. Yeah, he's falling off big.
Pretty good.
And Sonic Fox, of course, we mentioned earlier. Guilty Gear, was that an upsetting grand finals as well?
I mean, Machobo not like getting bodied.
Yeah. Machobo not being a top 8 was like one of the biggest upsets of the tournament, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of you guys told me that he was like the favorite to make top 8 easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was the Evo champ, right? Like, he's supposed to come back and do super well, but like, Nage beat the hell out of him. It was real bad.
Oh, wait, there's some lore behind this shit, right?
Yeah, Majin Obama was talking about it. Machobo got interviewed in Japan before coming to Evo, and they asked him, what are your chances at Evo? And he said about 50%. I only think one person can beat me, and that's Omito, the person that ended up winning the entire tournament. But according to Majin Obama, Nage had seen that and took that a little bit personally and sent a message. Ended up instant killing him in the set, which is always a great message to send in Guilty Gear. And then he ended up losing to Kid Viper. He said Omito was going to be the one that might be able to take him out, a Johnny player, but it was actually Kid Viper, the best American Johnny, that ended up taking him out and giving him a good, way earlier exit than anybody expected.
That is fucking sick. That is super sick. Talk shit and get bodied at Evo. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate setup.
That's usually how it happens, man.
Dude, before Evo, you just got to be nice to everybody, man. You don't want that bad luck. You know what I'm saying? That karma.
Yeah. All right, Mike. I'll let you talk us through Tekken.
For Tekken top 8, oh man. So we got Anakin playing up there, and then we had like, what is it? It was pretty much all Koreans, 2 Japanese, and 2 Americans. Like we always said every year, like this was the year that we expected that was no, Americans that were gonna make it, but there's always 2. There's always 2.
I for sure thought it wasn't gonna happen this year, but I was hella proven wrong.
Right, with the 2 being SoCal's own Suikin. Just got picked up by Flashpoint afterwards as well. Shout outs to him. And also Anakin from ATL, another one of the top contenders that we thought was going to make it in there. And then we had Ni, JDCR, Saint, Echo Fox Boys. And then we had Junding. And we had Taisei.
And Take.
And Take, yeah. I mean, top 8 was great, man. Like the one thing though that I was sitting right next to the Koreans when top 8 was happening during the finals. I was sitting next to Kokoma, Dong, and Nin.
Mm-hmm.
I was chilling with them, and they were just saying like, "What's going on with Anakin? Did he not power up before this tournament? Like he doesn't." I was like, "I don't know, man. The sunglasses tell me that he's too powered up, but I don't know." Maybe it's bright up there. I'm not up there, you know. I don't know.
He was too powered up. He got too motivated.
Way too motivated.
He got way too motivated, huh?
Because I did tell him like over the weekend. I was like, remember that Tekken documentary that came out that Esteban made? I was like, you were hella too motivated when you fought Rip that day, weren't you? He's like, yeah, I was. And I was like, yeah, I think you were. But I saw him when I was going to top 8, you know, heading the other way. But you know, he seemed like he was trying to play a way where he was trying to force debugger mix-ups and stuff on Knee. But, you know, Knee playing the matchup game against everybody. Even Kokoma said before the match, you know, he picked Steve because I think he has a pretty good chance to catch a JDCR's Dragunov with his Steve. But, you know, it didn't happen. JDCR, star of the round running twos, crazy stuff. You know, he started turning it up. He started really, really turning it up, especially after the Junding match where Junding had it in the bag. Yeah, and then he runs up down 4. And then the blue rage driver is like, the stomp's not going to kill, right? The stomp's not going to... Oh, my God.
That was an insane comeback.
It did crazy damage.
Yeah, that was... Oh, my God. I could have sworn that wasn't going to kill. That was insane. And then, dude, Saint started turning it up. And then JDCR, you could just see it gradually. They were just like... Everybody was just like... They were just... Those two were just turning it up. And then, obviously, we saw Echo Fox Grand Finals between JDCR and the last year's champ. But JDCR, you know, he was playing very safe at the end, but optimal still. You know, it was just like offense, timing, everything you could see it. Like, you couldn't even low poke them anymore. It got down to that level, you know. It was nuts.
Yeah, they play so weird because they know each other so well. It's like, why would you hit that there? It was like, well, because he knew I was going to do these other 10 things, you know? So I had to figure out something different. But yeah, you know, also the crazy thing for me in that top 8 was that Saint had lost to Knee to make it into the top 8, right? So Knee got in on the winner side. Saint came in through the loser side. And he was, like, visibly distraught. That was one of the streaming matches on stage on Friday. So going to Sunday, I was like, man, is he going to lose to Knee again? He just beat the crap out of him. He almost had, like, I think 6 rounds or 7 rounds straight or something. It was nuts.
You know, that
7 rounds straight, wow.
Yeah, that match, it seemed like at that point, it was just Knee playing too many characters at that point. He did not have the, you know, punishes ready for Brian. It looked like when he picked Brian, it was just like, oh, I beat him with Brian last time, and let's just rock this again. You know, it's like, hopefully it'll work out.
He lost the previous year at EVO using Brian to him. He lost the entire tournament to him with Brian.
That's true. But then he got him, he put him into losers with Brian. Just gotta keep believing, you know?
I guess, man. But yeah, Tekken was insane. If you guys missed it, make sure you guys check out that archive. You know, on my side of things, during that top 8, I was doing the in-house commentary at the arena, and I had no idea what that was going to be like. Like, I got all dressed up that day because they told me, yeah, you're going to be on stage, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to look like a bum, so I'll put on this dress shirt, do my hair, put product in it, and then I get down there, and I'm up in the box looking down. I'm like, oh, we're just sitting in the crowd. Like, all right, cool, whatever. But the best thing was, it was during Blaze Blue Central Fiction. You know, I know we didn't really talk about it, but that was a super hype grand finals. I didn't know anything about Blaze Blue, but it was still super hype to watch. And Majin Obama and Giuna were on the in-house commentary at the time. And they were, like, so loose, and they were so... It was so different than regular commentary, I felt, because they could play to the crowd, and everyone knows the crowd wants someone to win. And they could root the crowd on with that person. I felt that was so different. Right. Than when you're doing normal commentary. So I was real thankful that I went on after them because they kind of showed me what the potential was. So when we went down there, yeah, we could do whatever we wanted. You know, we could say like, yeah, that's the American guy. I know you guys want to root for him, so root for him. You know, USA champ starts. You know, it's a lot easier, it's a lot more fun. And personally, I feel like I might actually enjoy doing that more than real commentary. Don't tell anyone I said that because I still want to do the real commentary, but I did like it a lot more.
I talked to Majin Obama about that actually after the tournament, after he had done it. He said he really liked that a lot too, and potentially more than regular commentary. He said it reminded him of just doing it at Mikado, at the arcade even.
Yeah.
And so with everybody that can hear him and stuff. So yeah, I think that it was definitely a great new addition to EVO and something that I'm sure is going to remain now that it's been so positively received.
Yeah, and you felt the same way, right, Sajam?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, even during Street Fighter Top 8, I was on the Twitch stream. Like, so I didn't get to do it, right? But I was on the Twitch stream, and I could hear Li, Joe, and Yipes because they were doing it in-house in the crowd, and like Punk came up, and like Li Joe was like, "This kid is the best in the world right here." He's like yelling, and he's like, I hear the crowd going wild and stuff, and like it's pumping me up because I can, you know, on commentary when you hear the crowd, it doesn't even matter if the crowd is cheering for some random anything else. It doesn't matter what it is. It automatically powers you up. Like you gain that excitement, right? So like, yeah, it was wild. I was like, damn, this is sick. Like I'm hella about this. So yeah, I really like having them, and it's like I don't have to like try to work the crowd from commentary because there's people doing that. So I just have to tell the people at home on Twitch what's happening.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it from that perspective. But, you know, Markman told me the same thing. He said that, you know, me and Tay Steve were getting so hyped that he was getting hyped. So I heard it, you know, from multiple people, the same kind of thing happening. So I think it's really awesome. I thought, you know, everyone who was on there did a great job. My only complaint about the in-house commentary was that on Saturday, at least, when I was listening to it for Injustice, I couldn't make out what they were saying. I was scared the same thing was going to happen, but in the arena, it was totally fine. You could hear us clearly. But I felt like,
I mean, it was so clear that I could hear it with my headset on, sitting at the top 8 spot. Like it was crazy.
Awesome. But yeah, definitely, I hope they can fix that for next year for whatever games end up being not in the arena, right? Because, you know, like Rynge yourself, or I was listening to Ketchup and Mustard specifically when they were doing the Injustice Top 8 live, and I couldn't really hear what they were saying. It was just the crowd is, you know, they're banging their clappers together and they're saying stuff, but it's not translating well to that space compared to how the arena bounces everything around, right? So, you know, it was still crazy. I still enjoyed it. I'm glad they did it, and I hope that they do it again. I hope they do it again. But let's move on here really quick here. So,
well, before we move on real quick, I got something. So I was talking to Anakin afterwards, and he actually tweeted this as well. He said that nobody in Tekken Top 8 had any idea who the fuck Geese Howard was.
That's exactly where we're headed, man. That's where we're headed.
This where you're headed?
Yeah, I was gonna go to all the reveals, right? And of course,
I will shut the fuck up.
The biggest one, Geese Howard, gets revealed for Tekken 7 DLC number 2, coming out winter 2017. Your thoughts, Rynge?
Man, Geese Howard looks super sick. I don't know how Tekken does it every time, but it seems like the guest characters always look cooler in this game than they do in their own game. You know, and it's just we're just gonna keep it 100 about it.
That's true.
The Geese trailer looked so sick. There were so many dope moments. They're predictable with everybody from the crowd. The wall break into the rising storm. I got super hyped for that. The character just looks fully fleshed, like as Geese in Tekken once again. I mean, it's great.
Your thoughts, Sajam, on him?
On Geese, dude, when I saw him do the predictable, I was like, all right, I see you over there, you're preparing stuff. And then it was like Jin, his karate lame-o rage art, who's like, and then he just like predict like a boom. I was like, oh shit, that was so tight. I was like, get wrecked, dude. Geese looks tight.
Yeah, what about you, Mike? What do you think?
Honestly, I was pretty excited that there was a new character reveal at EVO. That was really sick. I did get hyped, but then my hype level kind of dropped. I don't know.
You're not
I know it's
one,
cool.
By the way. You're not the only one, by the way. There's a lot of people.
I completely understand it from not a Tekken player's perspective, but like for me, having to play against this character, I was just like, oh great, now he doesn't have Shoryukens, now he can just parry everything. Fantastic. It's like, all right. You know, it's like instead of one jumping button, now he has a jump in one too. That's great. And he has a jump back air fireball, and we have more shark fin projectiles all over the place. And I was just like,
that sounds great.
I was like, you know, cool. I like the character. I'm not gonna lie, the character is cool. The character is cool, but like for me, as like I don't know, I don't want to sound like an old man, but
too late. 11 years straight at Evo. Come on,
Tekken purist or whatever. But it's just like honestly, for me, this is how I felt because I recorded the trailer too while I was watching it live, and then I got a clip of the guy in front of me like doing this over and over when he was doing that. But you know, I was just like, literally after the tung 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 tung, and then the you know the sliding doors moved out of the way, and it finally showed the character. I was just like,
really. Damn,
I rather.
bummer, man.
I don't know. I rather have. I mean, they kind of did hint that he was going to be from another franchise, but I thought they meant like completely other franchise, not like fighting game franchise. But character's cool. Gonna be a bitch to fight against him, but you know it's cool. Well, I'll just have to deal with it, I guess. 2017.
Yeah, so you were thinking like completely other franchise, like Dragon Ball or Naruto. That
Put
kind
Spawn
of
in there for some reason. I don't know. Like, crap, dude. Put Darth Vader in again or some shit.
All right, I'm down for that.
Yeah?
You got Darth Vader? Wait, you got me for a second there.
Yeah, I'm down.
Of course,
Put
you know.
the real Anakin in there.
Oh God.
I have the higher
He was already in
ground.
Soul Calibur, man. Come on. He had his time in the Namco game. But you know, a lot of people. First of all, let me show you guys this really quick. This is the picture that was taken while the reveal happened. You know, this is myself,
I saw this.
Tasty Steve, and Ricksta and Hell Pockets. And you know, I put up. You can see my phone here. I was recording it as it happened. And Hell Pockets, right from the very first laugh, Hell Pocket starts losing, and she's like, "Oh, oh!" You know, just like he's freaking out over there.
And nobody else knows what's happening.
Nobody
like,
knows
why the
what's
hell is
happening.
he losing it?
Somebody laughed, and that was it, right? And Hell Pockets lost his shit. So it's pretty crazy. It's a great photo. Shout out to whoever took this, Stephanie Lindgren. Somebody said that, you know, we look like we're Michael Jacksoning here with the popcorn, which is pretty funny. I like that. I like that idea too. We might have to turn that into an emote sometime. But you know, my thoughts. You know, like Rynge, I was pretty hype over it. I was pretty excited. My voice already shot from everything else that was happening, but you can hear everything in the video. It's great. It's a great time. The counter, I think, looks awesome. You know, the other night, Jaha was in my stream, and he mentioned that he looks a lot like Akuma. And when I watched the trailer back again, I realized he does. Like, he looks like he's got crouching medium kick into projectile. He looks like he's got, like, standing 2 into projectile. You know, he's got the jump and approach as well. And like Mike said, he's got, instead of the uppercut, he's got the counter. Right, so it looks like he plays very similar to Akuma. I hope that he's got more to him than that. The one thing I don't know about is max mode.
Yeah.
It looks like he has it.
Yeah, it looks like he
Yeah,
has
he
it.
definitely has max mode.
So can somebody explain to me that system mechanic and how it works and how it might work in Tekken here?
Well, in KOF 14, it's just like you can cancel it off on normal, and it gives you like a micro dash. So it's like just immediate, like cancels it into a dash, and then you can cancel it into a further combo, and then it just gives you like enhanced like access to EX moves and stuff like that. So I'll probably do the same for him in this game. So I was gonna bring that up, that he actually has a cancel system similar to Akuma as well. Since Akuma has the FADC, he can go into it. I'm sure max mode's gonna work the same way, where he's just gonna cancel a move into the max mode, and he'll probably get a same little micro run into something else. I assume.
Yeah, it definitely looked like that in the trailer, like right after he activates it when he flashes, and then he does that long wall carry combo, like it's like a carrying V-trigger or something, like with the Rekkas or something. Like, that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, because I saw 2 instances of something similar to that. So first, you know, in Tekken 7 at least, when characters turn blue, it usually means they're activating their rage drive. So it looked like he turned blue, and then he did like an EX move where he turned yellow, and then he flashed blue again. And I was like, what the hell is that? It's like a weird EX rage drive. That's what it looked like to me. And everyone told me, oh no, it's max mode. And then I also saw separate from that what looked like an FADC, where he did like a normal and cancel and dashed. So those to me, they're slightly different because the one that looks like an FADC didn't have any blue flash on it, while the other one had the blue flash. So, you know, we'll see how it plays out, I guess. But it's pretty interesting. You know, I'm glad that they're. I don't want to say I'm glad that they're doing it, but I think it's really cool that they're pulling in like the villains of all these other fighting games. They're putting into one space.
Somebody said that over the weekend. It's like the ultimate boss battle fighting game now. All of a sudden, it's like a boss battle.
Yeah, like they've got
Tekken's
Heihachi, Akuma, and now they've got Geese Howard. If there's another one, who do you guys want to see?
Shang Tsung.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
I did not even think
He's
of
the
that.
Mokujin of the game.
Oh, there's no Mokujin in the game right now because they didn't make a Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Oh god, you just
Done
blew
deal.
my mind.
Wow, you are actually a genius. I really want it to be Shang Tsung.
Dude, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that, but like, you know, Ed Boon has always talked about how he's loved Tekken the franchise. So I don't know that that's even far-fetched. That's crazy, dude. That's
I feel
crazy.
like that's super likely.
I mean, the other crazy stuff was that there was like a lot of people digging through the PC files saying like, oh, we found this thing about like air dash or whatever.
Exactly,
you know,
yeah.
thing. And then Harada made a tweet about how he's going like to meet up with God, what was it, with the Atlas guys? Arxis guys, yes. So it was like he kind of fed into that, and I was like, did they plant all that there, or is that actually the next character? You know, I'm like mind fucked. I have no idea what's happening.
I'm all in on Shang Tsung now. He got me good. I was gonna say Soul Bad Guy, but it's too late. Like, I'm already all in on Shang Tsung.
God, that is a crazy one.
He died in Mortal Kombat to come to Tekken. Duh. Come on, man. It works.
That is insane, man. That's insane. So yeah, that was the Geese Howard reveal. Let's move on to Street Fighter's big reveal, Abagail. How do you guys feel about that one? Sajam.
God damn it! You always come to me with the bad news.
Hey, I'm
Like
calling
every week, Street Fighter messes something up, and it's like, all right, and Sajam, and I'm like, well, today at Capcom they blew up a cruise ship or something. It's always some bad
Everybody
news.
else is like, oh yeah, stocks went up 19% for this company, and you took care of weather. Weather's fantastic. See,
Capcom
John?
bankrupt. Like, oh, it's shit. Abagail got announced. You know, here's how I feel. If compared to everything else that got announced at EVO, it was definitely not the best announcement. In fact, on all the Sunday announcement, it was definitely the least exciting to a lot of people. However, in watching the WSO stream and looking more at Abagail, Abagail seems hella cool to me. That character seems like they're super fun. Like, I actually think that character looks way more fun than I expected. I don't like big body characters, so I'm very surprised about that. I generally really dislike really big characters. But yeah, the playstyle is really cool. The backdash finger guns.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the reason you like him. Don't
Freeze
lie.
frame? Oh, the freeze frame on the backdash finger gun. Let's go. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the backdash finger guns. That is sick. Like that. Yeah, that's tight. That's tight. I'm about that. You know, the real confusing thing to me is Capcom announced at the start of, what was it, like the start of the last year or start of this year, they're like, yeah, we're going to drop Akuma and a bunch of new characters. And every time a new character comes out, everybody's still like, wow, I thought this one was going to be Sagat or Sakura. And I'm like, it's at this point, if you don't think it's all new characters, you're actually just stupid. Like, it's going to be all new characters. Like, next season, they'll do the old characters. Which, I mean, honestly, I really wish they had just, like, not flipped it, but, like, inversed it. So it was like, new character, old character.
Right.
New character, old character. And I wish they had done that for 2 seasons instead of doing 1 season of new, 1 season of old, which is what we're all assuming they're going to do.
That's much a better idea. Yeah, the hype would be much better.
Of course, yeah. You have you announce like Ed, and then the next one's Sagat, and everybody's like excited. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, and then the next one comes back, and it's Abagail. And, you know, a lot of people don't know, but Abagail is also from, like, Fatal Fury or Final Fight or something, right? It's one of the boss characters from one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Somebody on my stream was like, hey, did you hear Abagail is going to be the reveal? And I was like, Abagail, she sounds cool. And
Damn, girl.
sent me a link, and they're like, no, it's a dude. And I'm like, look, lore is for nerds, all right? I don't know anyone.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a poison situation because I didn't know anything. Same thing like you. I didn't wake up, but I guess I got back to the casino, and then it was like time for Street Fighter. So I'm walking over there, and then somebody says, "Hey, they just showed the Abagail trailer." I was like, "Who did what now?" You know, and then they told me about it. Like, yeah, it's a big body character. I'm like, "Wow, they made a big female character." It's like, no, it's a dude. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. And then I was questioning things. You know, I was like, so is it like what do I say on commentary? You know, I didn't know. It was one of those situations.
Oh, man.
I think in his original lore, he had some tendencies, right? Some like cross-dressing tendencies. I think something like that.
Wow, you
From
went
what
deep
I
into
understand.
lore. I don't know about any of that.
I definitely saw the Street Fighter wiki. It says something about that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
but
So
he
now
is
I
8
don't know
feet
what
tall.
to do on commentary anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's move on then. I agree. Abagail reveal was probably one of the weaker ones. Let's talk about some of the other ones really quick. You know, I don't think it's got a title yet, right? But it's the Akira game. Everyone's calling it the new EX.
Akira EX, yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that one? Let's start with Sajam. Is that good news for you?
Yeah, it is good news. The game looked dope, honestly. Like I was really surprised we even saw any footage of it at EVO, but yeah, it was there, and everybody seemed really positive about it. So yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm about it.
Yeah, Rynge, what do you feel about that one? Did you see it even?
The Akira game?
Yeah.
It was
Rika.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
it
it
was
Rika or Akira?
I don't know
It's
which one.
Eureka,
I'm sure it's a Rika.
Oh, Rika.
that's
My
I
bad.
knew what you were talking about, but
Yeah. Thanks for the
Honestly, that's
correction.
like the game I'm probably least interested in. It looked cool, but I don't have nostalgia for a lot of the characters, so I didn't get like super hype over it.
Yeah, people seem to get pretty hype over nostalgia because they showed some of the returning characters, right? Mike, you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I don't really have too much about it, other than that everybody loves Skullomania. I mean, obviously everybody got hype when that dropped, but other than that, to me, the EX series has always kind of been, I don't know, the physics, things look off. Like a lot of things look off, but I like where they're going with it. I like how the development team is trying to push for this game, and it's getting received really well. And I haven't played it yet, but I like the new ideas that they're going with. It's kind of like the meter, the Guji, Gauji, Gogi. Well, I don't know how to say it.
What the fuck are you saying?
The Goji system. You know that system? That weird has 5 orb system on the bottom. Like, it's a different idea. It's kind of like
got powered up.
like goji go. You know what I'm talking about. That EX system for that game, whatever that meter stuff is. I like what they're trying to do with it. Put a new spin on some old formulas and stuff. So I like what they're doing with it.
I didn't even know what that is. That sounds pretty cool though. Yeah, for me, you know, I remember the old EX, the first EX game in the arcade when it came out. And that shit was butt ugly. It was like, what is this crap? It's like, because at the time, you got to remember, Tekken was out. And so you'd see Tekken, and you'd see like, what is this trying to be like Tekken for? Except it was way uglier, and it's like, they're throwing projectiles, and characters are like all flying around with their mega jumps, and it's like, this is funky. I don't know if I like all this. But this version of it, I feel like it's almost like they've caught up to the times. You know, like, yeah, we tried to do this back then, but we didn't have the technology for it. Now people know how to make 3D fighters, and now we have the technology for it, so it doesn't look as jank. But I agree with Mike. I feel like it still kind of looks off. You know, I was watching it back again, the trailer, and there's like the grappler guy does like his like SPD kind of move, and just the way it looks is like it's not fully animated. It's like half it's animated, and then it just kind of drops, and it's like, looks a little bit off there. So it's kind of cool that it still looks jank for the nostalgia.
Kind of, right? It's right? Like that's kind of what they're playing off.
I guess, man, but I actually don't know how that game's gonna do, but I'm sure that it'll look pretty cool if it's ever at Evo again. So I'm excited for that. I think it'll have at least somewhat of a player base. Moving on, we've got the crossover game for Blaze Blue, right? Want to talk about that one?
I'm hella hype about that, actually.
All right, we'll start with Rynge, though.
Oh, okay. Damn, Sajam got bodied. Yeah, that game looks super dope. You know what's funny is that he actually has more experience with at least one of those games in the tag game than I do.
All right.
Because I actually haven't played Blaze Blue, Persona, or I actually have played Persona, but or Unist. So I don't know. But that game looks super sick just because they're gonna have Persona characters in it. So I'm super hype about that. And it's 2v2, so it looks like Arxis once again just coming for like the throat of Capcom in a way, right? It's just coming for that same market, that same niche product, and hopefully they satisfy it in a different way than Marvel Infinite. You know, obviously it's going to handle differently. Right. Is Sajam around still?
I don't even know. Like, his camera is so slow that for all I know, he's sitting back in his chair.
He's still probably.
All right, so I'm a big O'Neal fan, which a lot of people might not know.
Instant transmission back.
Instant transmission, dude. Look, all right, I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. Okay, I just appeared into existence. But I liked O'Neal a lot. My roommate liked to play it a lot, so I was a big fan because of it. So when I saw the crossover game with O'Neal, okay, first of all, everybody was super surprised, right? Like, and nobody expected this to be real. Mm-hmm. Like, it just came out of nowhere, and we're like, what the hell is this? Like, no one knew anything about it, but I am hella excited. This game looks super sick. O'Neal actually dropped today. The new version of O'Neal is on PSN today, so if you guys are O'Neal fans, definitely check it out. But yeah, I'm hella excited. I hope Gordeau is super cheap in this game. I want him to have Grim Reaper assist and just hit halfway across the screen. That character would be tight as fuck.
Cool. Is that all the information you've got about that game?
I mean, there's not much information.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like 2v2. It looks very similar to Infinite in a way where it looks like you'll be able to do special moves and then tag out. So it looks like in the same instance, like the moves that are going to be like taking a while.
It looks a little janky in motion, like a little bit more janky than I expected, but you know.
Yeah, but it seems like it's going to revolve around tagging in behind heavy moves or moves that are going to keep the opponent there while you run a mix-up on them.
And does that game have a title yet?
From right now, what they announced was Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, I believe. I think that was it. Which is definitely a terrible name, but we'll see if they fix that.
Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
I think
funky
so.
Title. And yeah, the Eureka game, the EX game, does not have a title, but it's supposed to be playable by April 1st, they said, 2018. And then the last thing that was revealed there, well, it wasn't last in order, but Trunks was revealed for Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Yeah. Wow, I know. All right,
we're gonna start with Rip.
Yeah, let's go and start with Rynge again.
Dude, Trunks looks fucking tight. Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. No, I mean, did you guys see that where they show the anime of his like hand symbol shit? And then
I've seen it all. I've seen all those guys' videos. You don't even know. I haven't even touched this game yet, but this game looks sick. Oh. Every animation is from something or another. Oh my god, dude. It's so beautiful.
It
What a
is.
cry.
Tantrum. The first sword character has arrived. I couldn't be more happy, honestly.
Dude, we were at dinner when we watched the trailer. Like Rynge pulled it up in his phone. I'm telling you, when the hand signs came out, I was in the middle of a bite of food. I actually was like, "This is the fucking sickest game of all time!" Like I actually almost choked on my food. I was like that. I was like, "Oh my god!" I started losing it. I was like, "God damn it!" We watched the Geese and the Dragon Ball trailer while we were eating. I almost choked to death like on both. It was too good. It was so dangerous.
Damn,
they just
you weren't in the arena.
They just recently announced Krillin and Piccolo too. Because
Yes.
remember how like Evo they said that there were going to be 9 playable at the demo, but then we only had 7 with Trunks so far. I knew it was going to be the humans or yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
I knew it.
I knew it. He's all hype for it.
Tasty Steve.
They also announced the release date, right? I think the beta release date is July 29th. Am I wrong about that?
6.
July
26.
26th.
Flip that 9 upside down. There you go. July. That's 6 days away.
6 days. Oh my god, need
Right
codes.
when I get back.
So
I'm
next
about to get in
Wednesday
all
night
the DMs.
fights, none of us are gonna be there because
No.
we're all gonna be home playing Dragon Ball.
Namco,
Wow.
please send me one.
Damn,
Yeah, I'm getting
all
in
right.
all the DMs
Damn.
these next 6 days.
Well done, boys. Well, man, that'll be crazy. Maybe we can get codes and give it out to people. That'll be tight. All right, I think. Damn, is that it? Did we finally wrap up everything on time? Oh, the last thing we want to talk about: IRL streaming. This was the year where IRL streaming kind of blew up at Evo. Even this past year in general, IRL streaming, right? I mean, last year in Japan, I was doing it, and then they created a category afterwards, motherfuckers. And then, now at Evo, we have people walking around the cameras all the time. What are you guys' thoughts on this? I mean, of course, it's great for, all the matches on the show floor, but what about, like, the rest of it? You know, like, Rynge, you were talking about a specific swerve that happened. Swerve 37. Let's talk about that for a second if you want to. This is your opportunity. I'll give it to you.
Ooh. Man, oh man, I don't know what to really say about IRL streaming. It brings its fantastic moments and it brings its disastrous moments, right? I think we saw a little bit of both here at this past Evo. I think there's lessons to be learned when it comes to IRL streaming that this Evo has taught us. When it comes to being a part of it, not being behind the camera, being in front of it. The tournament time, it's great. You get to see some raw emotion. You get to see matches that you don't get to see regularly. You get to see, people's live reactions for whether they win or they lose. And then after the tournament, you get to see some other things that, might be best left behind closed doors if you're not too comfortable putting those things in front of a camera. But
yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're like popular or if you're sort of unknown, right? Like it can just happen to you regardless of how well people know you in the community.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely damn, you gotta put a sunglass on? You're gonna need that at Vegas when you're getting caught by people's IRL streams, man. That's what you need. You need a disguise nowadays. Yeah, I have the same kind of concerns over it. I also think it's great, at the tournament, I think it's great. While all the matches, you can watch all the off-stream matches. But when you're at, like, after parties and stuff, man, I don't know. I feel like
that's dangerous.
You gotta be wary. You gotta be on the lookout.
Right, there's got to be some kind of off-limits section for IRL streaming. Because even when I was walking around Japan with it, like, we'd go to some of the stores and like, we know that some of them, they'd be like, hey, man, you can't be filming. I'm like, dog, they're just anime figures. It's cool. You know what I mean? Like, they're just prices on anime figures. No one's going to get hurt. There's not going to be anyone with their arm over a girl and the girl's going to walk away. Nothing like that's crazy's going to happen. It'll be all right.
There's not going to be Rib creeping and damn girling on some random girl at Evo. It's nothing big.
No, exactly. I mean, that would be a lot of fun for... Damn, did I do that?
Did you not see the clip?
No.
On BL stream?
What is he got?
Okay, look. Some stuff happened. But oh, God. There's a clip that ripped exposed.
Yeah, the ripped exposed clip.
Don't look at that. Whatever you guys do, don't click on that one. Separately, though.
I'm clicking on it right now.
We're talking at all the results, and we forgot to mention Street Fighter's top 8 Sajam. Tell us about Street Fighter 5's top 8 at Evo.
Yeah, so Street Fighter top 8 was really good. I think that this is probably my favorite top 8 ever. It was super good, right? It was very diverse. We saw, because Punk played another character, I think we saw 9 different characters in the top 8. And it was really great. Tokido, remember when last year at Capcom Cup, he was talking about the rust of his sword and how he was going to carve through everybody? Did you not hear that quote? He was like talking about at Capcom Cup. He was like, I'm going to carve through this. and make everybody the rust on my sword. And then he went 0-2. That's basically what he did in the losers bracket at Evo. He got sent to losers bracket by Punk the day before, and like in the top 8, he had a very close match with Filipino champ, very close match with Itabashi, but he was destroying it. Like, as soon as he got the Punk, I knew it was over. I knew he had won the tournament. You can even kind of tell by my commentary where I said, like, even though Punk is in winners, I felt Tokido had the edge. Because, like, if you looked at it, before that, I talked to Punk the day before when he had to play him for top 8. And I was like, yeah, how do you feel against Tokido? He's like, I played him at Justin's house in a first of 10. He beat me 10-0. So I feel my chances are pretty bad. So he beat him in winner's bracket, kind of like, I think maybe catching Tokido off guard a little bit. And then when he played him in the top 8, it looked much more like that set he told me about, where just was beat down, right? Tokido was super prepared. So I'm very happy for him. Congrats to him. He was playing on fire. Like, honestly, his level, a lot of people talk about Street Fighter V as being like a very simplified, kind of boiled down game, but like Tokido's Akuma is the exact opposite. Like, the amount of option selects and interesting tech that he has is crazy, and he's really revolutionizing that character. So there's not a way to practice against an Akuma of his level when he is that level.
Yeah, there's
right?
no
Like,
one
he
else.
is that level, and everybody else is like here playing catch up, trying to follow him. So it's very difficult.
And I've always thought about that too in fighting games, like especially when a player is, even if you simplify the game, that player's still going to be that player. It's still going to be simple for that, for him to pick up as well. But now he could add all this on top of it that makes him a great player and just destroy you for everything else on top of that. It's just like making a game simpler is not going to hold anyone back, I think, for like, especially a top player like Tokido.
Yeah, and
go on, Rynge.
apparently, Alex Myers, I think they said, was the only one that even got games off Tokido at that little session at Justin Wong's
He was the only
house.
one to beat him in a set, is what it was. Nobody else won a set besides Alex Myers.
So that he seemed on a roll coming into Evo, even if it wasn't there in the tournament performance-wise. He's been getting pretty consistent top 8 performances throughout the Capcom Pro Tour here in 2017, but never taking a tournament. But of course, the best time to peak is always Evo, right?
It was like completely flipped from last year, because I remember last year, he was back and forth with Infiltration top 2 all the way through. Then finally CEO comes, he beats Infiltration. He's going to Evo as like, the favorite now because he can beat Infiltration. And then I was actually commentating the match where he lost to Ada and got eliminated last year at Evo. And it was like, I was broken because I was such a huge Tokido fan. And I commentated him getting eliminated. I was like, what the hell? Who is Ada? I don't know Ada. I know Tokido. So I was butthurt, and I was super butthurt. And then this year, no one's talking about Tokido really, right? Like, he's not winning any tournaments like you guys mentioned. And then boom, Evo comes. I made that prediction 2 weeks ago. Like, we were talking about, is it finally time for America to win Street Fighter V or Street Fighter at Evo, whatever? And it was like, it could be, it should be, but if anyone's going to do it from Japan, it's probably Tokido. And he did it. So, yeah, shout out to Tokido. He deserves it. He's won, like, I think, an Evo, like, forever ago for other games, but nothing to this scale, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tokido's always been one of those players that I always looked up to because he's always been like one of those guys that could pick up like any fighting game, and if he wants to put the time into it, he could become a god in anything. And it's just like, I felt like ever since Street Fighter 4, he's always gotten close. I think he got runner-up one year.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I always wanted him to take it, but it's like, it's finally and last year too, even I predicted that he was going to be at least top 3, like hands down at Evo.
Right.
But I'm glad that, he finally had his, opportunity, took a chance, took the whole thing. Shout outs to him, man.
Yeah, that was sick, man. I'm glad. But, also on the note of Punk, it was his first Evo ever. I didn't know if he would even make top 8. Just from, I've seen it happen so many times where just the top guy comes into Evo, but it's just the scale of the tournament just, like, throws them off and they don't make it, right? But, shout outs to Punk. He made it through in the winner's side into top 8. Got all the way to grand finals. Obviously, he was disappointed with his performance, but I think that's the kind of loss that's either gonna shape him or break him, man. It's one or the other. It's his choice, really. So we'll see where he ends up, I think.
I mean, I loved his responses coming out. Him crying showed me that he was truly passionate about this victory. This meant the world to him. And I think for him, I only see him coming back stronger. Obviously, there was that quote from Marn, I think, on Twitter that was like, at least you made a lot of money. He was like, I don't give a fuck about the money. I want that trophy. You know what I mean? I love that. The homie Kenny Omega hooked him up with a video from CM Punk himself,
That was sick.
which was super sick. So I think my man is as motivated as ever. I think he'll come back firing on all cylinders for sure.
Yeah, I really hope so as well. But I think that wraps it up. Anything else you guys want to talk about really quick? Anyone? Sajam, Mike, Rynge, nothing? Cool. So how about,
Yeah. Well,
how about you guys plug your stuff? We'll start with MYK. You can go first. Let everyone know where we can find you.
Everything is under the name is MYK, all one word, except for YouTube. It's the name is MYK 88.
The name is MYK everywhere except for on YouTube with an 88 at the end. Got it.
Yep.
Sajam, you know, while you plug your stuff, also tell us about the new thing that happened today with Disney XD.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm on Sajam on Twitter as well as Twitch, and I'm also on television right now. I think Disney XD is airing ESL Brawlers, which is King of the Hill. It's like the same format they've used for King of the Hill. If you guys have never seen it, right, where 2 people play a first of 10, and then the winner gets to play the returning king or whatever. Steve and I are commentating that. It's on Disney XD. You know, Disney XD is, you know how like late night programming is, where some television networks have stuff like Toonami or Adult Swim, where at night it turns over into a new section of programming. That's sort of what Disney XD is doing. So during the day it's Disney XD, and then at night it's Disney XP, which is like
Extra porn.
gaming. Yeah, exactly. Gaming center. My Twitter was Disney approved, by the way. I just like to say for the record, that's what I'm talking about.
Really?
Disney approved. Yeah. I didn't have to delete anything or anything. I was
that's
chilling.
impressive. That's
So
impressive.
yeah, Disney XD. Check it out. If you guys are Street Fighter fans, they have a way for you to watch. Like if you have cable, or like you have like a certain internet provider, you can plug it in on the website. Somebody tweeted a link earlier. Like I think it was Panda Global actually. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Disney XD. They're doing King of the Hill. It's Street Fighter, by the way. Somebody asked, so check it out.
Yeah, Street Fighter 5. Rynge, tell us where they can find you.
You can just find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Rynge with an underscore at the end. Yeah, that's about it. Don't listen to me about Abigail lore because I definitely made that up earlier. But besides
Damn
that,
it!
definitely
believed
did.
all
I
that.
thought I
believed it too.
I double checked and I definitely didn't. So don't believe the words that come out of my mouth, except for my Twitter. That's where I am.
Okay, there you go. You guys got him. He's Rynge with an underscore, RYNG underscore. You guys know me, REEPAL. This is the channel Level Up Your Game on Twitch and YouTube. So it's time for the Sajam special segment, the Left Behind segment. Who are you leaving behind this week, Mr. Sajam?
Oh yeah, the Left Behind calling. My Left Behind calling this week is hella easy. It's Jeremy. Jeremy is definitely a bitch. So here's what happened. Let me break it down for you guys. I'm giving him the Left Behind calling for a good reason. So before Evo last week, Jeremy hit me up on Tuesday, and he said, "Hey, can you bring your stick to Wednesday Night Fights so that I can borrow it to play at Evo?" So I was like, "Sure, man. Like, no problem. I'll bring the stick." So I show up at Wednesday Night Fights. I brought my stick. It's right here. By the way, it's right here. This is the stick, you know? I brought the stick, and I was like, "Sure, Jeremy, I'll bring the stick for you so you can borrow it." You know, I asked him, I was like, "Hey, you want to go out to dinner or whatever?" Because we usually show up at like 7 or 8 and eat food, and then the tournament starts at like 9, right? So I hit him up about it. He's like, "I'm going to be a little late, so I'm going to miss dinner." Not a big deal. At like 10 o'clock, Jeremy's still not there. He texts me and says, "Hey, man, I'm not going to be at Wednesday Night Fights. But Sherry is going, I think. So when she gets there, just put the stick in her car because I'm driving with her to Evo, right? Like her and like 3 other people are going." I was like, "All right, cool, no problem." So I walk up to Sherry and I'm like, "Hey, like I have the stick that, you know, Jeremy needs for Evo or whatever." And Sherry's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "You don't even know?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "God damn it." So I had to break down the whole scenario to her, and she's like, "All right, whatever, go throw it in the car," right? So I go throw it on the car. He plays with it at Evo. He doesn't give it back to me at Evo before we leave or anything. Come back Monday. I still don't have my stick. I text him. He's like, "Oh, I'll deliver it tomorrow." And I said, "Hey, I'm going to be at the HyperX thing." He knows my roommate, Brad. So he's like, "I'll just hit up Brad and I'll swing by the house and drop it off." I said, "No problem. Sounds good." So I get home Tuesday from the HyperX thing. I don't see the arcade stick anywhere in my room. I'm like, maybe Brad put it somewhere. So I text Brad. I said, "Hey, did Jeremy bring the stick to the house?" And he said, "What are you talking about?" So I'm like, "God fucking damn it, again." So I was like, I texted Jeremy. I'm like, "What's good?" And he was like, oh, I was really busy, you know, my girlfriend this, my girlfriend that, you know. And then I talked to Rynge and Tan Man, who gave me the inside scoop and said he was playing PUBG all day. And
Oh
so,
my
you know,
God.
it wasn't even like there was a situation there. He was just playing PUBG all day. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So I tell him to bring it to Wednesday Night Fights yesterday. He says, like, yeah, whatever, like Wednesday Night Fights. Turns out, you know, he has to go on a date night with his girlfriend, so he's got to go do that now. Today, he finally brought the arcade stick. Over a week later, he brought the arcade stick. I finally have it. My stick almost got left behind.
All I'm really hearing is that Sajam is jealous that Vicious has a girlfriend right now. That's what I gathered from that Left Behind calling.
Maybe I got left behind because
Yeah, I think we both got left behind.
Jeremy to be responsible enough to balance an additional relationship in his life. It's not that complicated, right?
Oof. Oof. All right, Mike, you got
Bitch.
one?
Oh man, I don't really have one. Let's see.
It's been a good week.
Let's see.
I-
Let's
I-
see.
I could
We can
go
go
if
to-
you
yeah,
want
let's go
some
to
time to
Rynge
think
first.
about
We'll go
it.
to Rynge
If you want
first.
some time to think about
Okay,
it.
okay. Rynge, go first.
So Sajam stealing my initial pick. Of course, I can't double it up.
You was
Sports
gonna
game
get
like
my
this.
spot.
But you know, you got to the ball first. So I'm gonna go to my left behind calling me the next level battle circuit Street Fighter scene. There was a
Whoa.
lot of premature popping off at the bar fights when Item, their best player, beat Danka Diaz, and the Laura versus Dawson matchup, which I think that's a bit of a joke to get hype over that. But you know, they decided to fill themselves. In the end, of course, they fell 5-3, much like the story was in Street Fighter 4. Better luck next time.
Wow. Next level Battle Circuit Street Fighter 5 scene. Left behind. Left behind. MYK, you got one now?
You know what? I'm just gonna say, man. Let's just say I'll get Poke Chop back. Let's just say
Wow.
I'll get my revenge, and I'm gonna think of a good dance to do back to him. You're gonna see my dancing skills on stream, because I'm gonna have this prepared.
You're trying to go to Fall Classic, right?
Yeah, I think so. I
You're
think
trying
so.
to go
Maybe-
to Fall Classic. Poke Chop, try to get a Fall Classic. We'll have a dance off. You and MYK. It'll be tight.
Dance off, yeah. I'm not gonna be doing backflips though. You got me on that.
Yeah. And definitely, you know,
He did a backflip?
dog.
Yeah, he took
you
Eris's
see that?
$5 for
let,
that back.
Let me tell
Oh,
you
I
guys
know. I
this
remember
right now.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
If Poke Chop ever tries to bet you money that he can do a backflip with no hands, do not bet that man. He is like a professional circus tumbler or something. Maybe not for the circus. Maybe it's like on a cheerleading team or something. I have no idea where you do that kind of thing. But that man can tumble. All right, he can tumble, he can flip, he can do all that kind of stuff. So definitely do not bet that man. That's what Eris learned at Evo this weekend.
Also, I was just reminded of something. Can I change my answer to no pants after his display in the anime suite at Evo this past weekend? Get it together, no pants. Come on, man.
You know, I was gonna say No Pants got left behind, but after the hero in Somnotech came in there, put No Pants over his shoulder, and Saving Private No Pants got him out of there. You know,
That was so sick.
yeah, No Pants definitely was not left behind. Insomnitech came and picked up
You're
the
right.
pieces.
You're right.
He came and picked up the pieces. It's all good there. No, my left behind calling. I mean, honestly, I've had a really great week. I feel fantastic the last couple weeks, to be honest. Evo was fantastic for me. I got nothing negative going on in my life. So the only person I'm gonna leave behind this week has to be Running Black for last night of Wednesday Night Fights against Chet Chetty. When Chet Chetty, if you guys haven't seen this clip, it might be one of my favorite endings of the Tekken match
right?
ever.
Oh my
It was
god.
like winner final game, final round situation, and Chetty's using Paul Phoenix. He just crouch dash, crouch dash,
Yes.
crouch dash, crouch dash, and Running Black is just standing there frozen, and then he ducks and Chetty death fists him for the win. It was fucked
Dude,
up.
and you know what's the craziest part? I didn't even realize this, but Kiyomi called it right before that happened. He changed his name from ITS Chet Chetty to ITS One Punch Chetty.
Oh my.
He called that. I
That
was
is
like,
too sick.
Yeah, the clip has made its way to the chat. You guys definitely need to see that.
That
That
shit was
insane.
fucking sick. It's like
God,
as soon as I got home, I opened up Wednesday Night Fights, right? I was like, let's see how this tournament is going. Crouch dash, crouch dash. I was like, oh shit, what's happening? Crouch dash, boom. I was like, oh god.
That shit.
It was actually the
legit.
sickest thing.
My man Running Black Soul is on the coffee table as a conversation piece in Chet's house now. Like,
yeah, he definitely left it behind at the esports arena. He's gonna have to go and pick that up someday. Chetty, good shit, bro. Good shit. That's gonna wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoyed the Boomcast. This was number 2. Shout outs to everyone for being on here. MYK, Sajam, Rynge. We will catch you guys next time. Peace.
Ball.